go, Junior. They already know what time it is.
T-Bug Crawford.
Yeah.
What's going on, you guys? So yesterday we had a discussion as to what's going on with this fight. And it's been reported that this thing, even if it is made within the next week or so, it won't be for November 19th. That's the current status of this fight with Crawford and Spence, is that at this point, the November date is now dead. So we're looking at dates in December and January. But Stephen Espinoza, amongst Mike Cappinger, coming out, telling fans what's going on with this fight. Of course, Terrence Crawford wants transparency with the expenses, which means since he's not getting a guaranteed purse, he wants to know where all the money's going. He wants to have insight over the money over the fight. He wants to, and that only makes sense, right? It's looking like this is a duck move by PBC. This is just the narrative right now. A lot of fans are looking at Al Heyman, PBC, some even looking at Errol Spence. They're looking at Errol Spence because, look, if you the boss, for the past several years, you talking about you're your own boss and all this stuff. So some fans are going to hold him accountable to that and look at him and say, look, man, why don't you tell Al Heyman and these people to give Crawford what he wants so we can get this show on the road? But we know that's not going to necessarily happen. Others are blaming the network. The network stalling the fight out. They aging out Crawford. It's been a lot of different things that people have been saying. There's a lot of different things that people got from this. But all I know is that they didn't give us no date. There's no way in hell that they could have promoted this fight within a month or so, month and 19 days. That's just crazy unrealistic, especially for a fight of this magnitude, especially for a fight that we've all been waiting for so long. It'll be kind of disrespectful to the fighters, the fans, and everybody else if they just threw this thing in front of us within only like 45 days or something. It just doesn't make sense. But Stephen Espinoza comes out amongst everything and says this: negotiations are ongoing and we are still working hard to make the fight. Sorry I don't have more to offer, but publicly airing the negotiations will only make it more difficult to make a deal. Oh, and don't believe everything you read. End quote. This is what Stephen Espinoza had to say. And he had to smother some of the flames that ensued yesterday from this news breaking, right? Even Fight Hype came out and said, I told you guys the bad news November 19th date was 100% false. This is what Ben from Fight Hype said. And he don't necessarily break news, but he would have some type of information because of his standing in the sport of boxing. So we hearing different things from different people. Bernie and Blue Blood said that Bud told them that, he did his part and now they just waiting on Spence and them. And now Mike Cappinger and, these guys are coming out saying that Crawford agreed to the low ball offer, like many of us know by now, and that he just wants to know, he just wants transparency with the expenses. I don't think that's necessarily, I don't think that's too hard to ask. I don't think that's something too hard to ask. I don't think that's too hard for Al Heyman to give to Crawford in good faith, just to get this thing going. But now we're looking at January for this fight. I'm looking at January. I don't think even December will be a good time just because of the holiday season coming up and it's just a lot of stuff going on in those 2 months of November and December. So I'm looking at January for this fight to happen. It's a little longer than we expected, but that's what I'm looking at. December will be hopeful, but I still don't think it's going to happen. If we don't hear an announcement by Wilder and Lanius, I don't see it happening in December neither. So yeah, man, Stephen Espinoza came out and pretty much said what he said last time. He didn't really give us too much. He didn't really say too much. He really essentially said exactly what he said last time, except he maybe added or took out a few words to make it look pretty. But really, he didn't say nothing he didn't say before. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.